So thank you. Before I even introduce myself, I think I have to also give a special word of thank you to Dr. Helen Caldicott, who not only has put together with PSR this wonderful symposium and has been doing this for decades, but who personally got me involved in 1982 with these issues, and I have been working ever since. And my wife and my child and our futures depend upon this work, and I'm very grateful that Helen opened my eyes to this. So my name is Dr. Andy Kanter. I'm the immediate past president of Physicians for Social Responsibility of the National Board, as well as here in New York City, the Physicians for Social Responsibility chapter. PSR is the largest physician-led organization that is dedicated to educating about and advocating to prevent the most gravest threats to human health and survival. And this includes nuclear weapons, climate change, toxic degradation of the environment. And full disclosure, PSR opposes nuclear power on several grounds, including the public health impact of the entire fuel cycle, the normal operations and accidents, and of course the linkage with nuclear weapons. PSR has been working on these issues for over 50 years after our landmark publication in the New England Journal of Medicine in 1962, which highlighted the medical consequences of nuclear war. And PSR was the co-recipient of the 1985 Nobel Peace Prize with the International Physicians for Prevention of Nuclear War as its U.S. affiliate. It is important to note that as physicians and scientists in PSR and those who work with us, that we have no special vested interest for or against nuclear power, but we take our oaths to protect the public's health seriously, and we speak primarily with a medical voice. I think it's important to also understand that nuclear scientists and those who spend their entire lives working with radiation or whose livelihoods are dependent or associated with this technology are naturally going to have a different perspective and a different risk assessment from us. We should recognize this difference, but strive to find an objective approximation of the truth. What is clear, however, is that as a species, we have tended to choose expediency and short-term benefit over the longer-term responsibility to our ecosystem and to future generations. It used to be that it appeared that we had the luxury of doing what we wanted to satisfy our own needs for growth or development, or simply to satisfy our desires. We could take what we wanted and throw away anything we wanted to. And we just assumed that we'd always have enough fuel or commodities or the great big ocean or the wide atmosphere would just swallow up our waste and our hubris. Now, in this Anthropocene age, we know that this is no longer true, and it never was true. We have failed to see the implications of our actions, and they have threatened not only our existence, but the very existence of life on this planet. So it is in this light that we must look at our choices for energy production. We must weigh carefully the risks and benefits, and we must seek to include all of the externalities. For nuclear power, this includes the medical and public health consequences of the entire fuel cycle, from the mining and enriching of the nuclear fuel, its transport, operations in the nuclear reactors, their inevitable accidents and releases, and then the reprocessing, waste disposal, and the proliferation of fissile materials and production of nuclear weapons. It is no longer acceptable to continue with the status quo. We must shake loose the shackles of the old ways that have bound us to a course that will lead to our inevitable destruction, and do as Einstein demanded, adopt a new way of thinking if we are to survive. Now, I just returned from an actually exhilarating meeting in Oslo, Norway, where civil society, along with 132 countries of like-minded national governments, came together to discuss the catastrophic humanitarian consequences of nuclear weapons. This is going to be followed up by a meeting in Mexico City, because the status quo has led to insufficient progress on reducing the threat from nuclear weapons. And this new track similar to the Ottawa landmines or Oslo cluster munitions processes, seeks to ban and eliminate nuclear weapons. Not, as President Obama said, sometime in the future, but in my lifetime. It is essential for all of society to be educated on nuclear power and the nuclear fuel cycle if we are to advocate from truth and provide a prescription for a safe, healthy, and sustainable future. This morning, we have two excellent panels of experts who are going to discuss the accidents at Chernobyl and Fukushima and what this means for nuclear power in the United States and generally. And I'm hoping that this information, along with yesterday's fact-filled presentations, will help us guide policy and implications for the United States as well as the rest of the world. And now, to get on with the panel, and you didn't come here to hear me speak, I'm going to introduce the first speaker, who we've already heard a great deal about already yesterday, Dr. Alexei Yablokov from the Russian Academy of Sciences, whose extensive collection of Chernobyl publications was recently published by the New York Academy of Sciences. Dr. Yablokov.